Continue. Welcome, everyone. I'm trying to change my view here so I can see everyone. Has anyone come in yet? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, perfect. I only see you guys still. All right, welcome everybody. Hi, my name is Christian Ollier. I am the co-founder and head of innovation at Study Abroad Association. Thank you so much for joining us today in this exciting Study Abroad Association and Gateway International Group webinar. We're going to give a few minutes for everybody to log in, and then we'll get started. We have a great group with us today. We have Nadine Russell from Central Piedmont. She's the Director of Global Learning. We have Ann Limke, who's the Student Community Impact Coordinator at Moraine Park Technical College. And we also have Yolanda Oliva, who is a social sciences instructor from Moraine Park Technical College. And we also have with us Philip, one of my top teammates from Athens, Greece. I'm in Bratislava, Slovakia, Central Europe today. And we also have PJ with us from the team and a lot of other attendees joining. How long should we give it before we start? You guys say 1-2 minutes? Get going. You guys can also, Philip's going to be monitoring the chat. So if you have any questions at all throughout, please drop them in the chat. And also be very helpful to know where you're from, what you do at your institution, why you're excited to find out about virtual global learning, and any other questions. And we'll definitely come back to those at the end. Each panelist is going to speak for about 10 minutes of their own experiences using 360 GLE, as well as other virtual global learning solutions at their own institutions. And at the end, we'll open it up for Q&A. So we'll be able to answer everyone's questions and go everything in more detail. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so virtual global learning. We created something brand new in 2020. That was our main goal, is we wanted to create a new type of global education experience. We wanted to create something that could be accessible to everyone, no matter the barriers. So no matter if students didn't have enough money, enough time, they were simply unaware of study abroad programs or global education programming, natural disasters, any pandemics, anything happening in the world. We wanted to create an interactive and immersive experience that would provide accessibility for all. That was our number one goal. Our second goal was to be able to provide faculty and institutions a resource that they could use to internationalize their curriculum, but also build a global foundation at their institution, something that contains up-to-date current content from around the world from global experts that faculty can easily grab and use it to infuse into their courses. And the third goal of this project was to be able to create an effective and exciting promotional tool for physical study abroad. So these were the three main goals of the creation of 360 GLE. 360 GLE stands for 360 Global Learning Experiences. This type of global learning experience is quite different than what we might have been used to in the past. You know, your COIL type programs, virtual internships, those are great and amazing. And we should really try to use as many resources as possible. But our goal in terms of accessibility was to also make something that's asynchronous, something that students could use on their own schedule, at their own time, at the time that best fits their needs, but also be able to combine that with synchronous live streamings from those global experts in the world. Now, this entire project is faculty driven. So all of the member institutions who started with this, they are really the engine behind it. We listen to the faculty, we listen to the institution. What type of content do you need? Our goal is to always produce up-to-date and multidisciplinary content from all regions in the world. We started with 9 countries. We're now up to 10. We just finished Colombia, which is our first bilingual program. It's over 60 hours of international education content, over 150 multidisciplinary topics, 75 professional guest speakers from all over the world. It's very, very exciting. Every year, new global destinations, new multidisciplinary topics within those destinations, with the goal of being able to provide all faculty at the institution the opportunity to internationalize their curriculum. So that's when I say faculty are really driving this, is we listen to what do you need, what topics do you need, what subject matter do you need, and we incorporate that into the development of the next year. So I want to pop over here real quickly. I want to share with you when we talk about 360 GLE, what does that mean and what does that look like? I'm going to take you actually inside of the platform very quickly, and then we're going to hop directly to our panelists so that we have some context of what this consists of. So this is the platform. Everybody at the institution has access to it. Unlimited access, unlimited users. We'll go to 360 GLE real quickly here. This is an overview of all of the current programs. We have business, global perspectives, humanities, and science. As you go down, you'll see that you have a wide variety of business in England, France, Greece, India, business in Switzerland. You have global perspectives from all these countries in Germany and India, Italy, Budapest, Hungary. We keep going on, and then we come down to humanities as well as science, right? So as I mentioned, every year, new global destinations, new multidisciplinary topics are continually added into the experiences. I'm going to take you, for example, let's imagine that I'm a science faculty, for example, and I want to incorporate content into my class that focuses on marine biology and conservation of wildlife. Pacuare Reserve in Costa Rica might be an appropriate location. So as you come down here, you have your 360 classroom that you first entered. And as we go inside, now we're actually going into Costa Rica. So each image is a 360 photo. That's what the 360 stands for. And then GLE is Global Learning Experiences. So we use the real world as the base. And then what we do is we compile that with different multimedia content from the local experts. So for example, right now we are here on the Caribbean coast of Costa Rica. I'll take this into full screen. Pacuare Reserve is one of the main nesting beaches for leatherbacks as well as green turtles. But here we come and we're working with local researchers who live and breathe this every single day, right? So you open up the video icon here, and typically you have anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes per video where they're giving an overview. So right now we're doing biometrics on sea turtles who just hatched that evening. I'll open this up.
Ayer, ¿qué estamos haciendo ahorita? Estamos midiendo y pesando las tortugas, siempre en las tortugas de los nidos que tenemos controlados.
Now, what you're seeing right now is...
¿Y por qué recopilamos esta información, Claudio?
What you're seeing right now is a time-lapse time for those are hundreds of sea turtles hatchlings coming out of the nest, and then we're going to do the biometrics. So after you've gone through that video, you move along through your process, and we're able to go see the photos of the hatchling releases and on and on and on. This is just giving you an idea of unique locations that you can visit in the world and how you can easily incorporate this into the courses that you're teaching. Now, we have over 150 multidisciplinary topics, and the easiest way to find those is by coming to the video library. We have thousands of videos in the video library that have all been produced since 2020 all the way till now. And each of those are categorized. So faculty can get to these in as little as 3 clicks. They can use these videos standalone, or they can use the 360 actual tours and units. I want to give plenty of time for our guest speakers here, but I want to show you just one last to give you an idea of how in depth the 360 space can be and where you can take this. So this is in Florence, okay? And this is part of a course, one of the pre-made modules. But I go to full screen here. All of these pink icons are different educational plugins. So you have text boxes, right? We have 360 videos. 360 videos are immersive and interactive videos. We're actually able to control the entire scene. I'll open that up here for you a second and show you what I'm talking about. Let me open this here. We'll kind of skip ahead. So
images
we're able to look exactly at what the local guide and expert is talking about.
If
it's showing a little bit blurry on your side, you can change the settings and take it all the way up to 5K.
The same
due to the internet speed and
Flores
and the screen sharing goes a little slow. But this is just to give you an idea of what you can do with the 360 space. You can bring the world to life, and you can layer it with as much content as possible, so students can really live it time and time and time again as a pre-trip resource, as a homework assignments, research projects, et cetera, et cetera. So just to give you an idea. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hop out of here and hand it over to our guests so they can talk about how they have used it, how their institutions have used it, and the different exciting and innovative ways and what they've done with that. So I'd like to pass the ball to Nadine Russell from Central Piedmont Community College. Hey, Nadine.
Hi there.
Welcome. And I'll stop sharing my
that.
screen, and actually, no, let me go back so that way we can, I'm gonna be flipping through the slides. Here you go.
Thank you.
Yes.
And this slide was actually 2019, obviously pre-COVID, and it was one of our Study Abroad Association programs in Japan. So I think about how different things are 3 years later, and the fact that we are actually going to be doing physical study abroad again coming up this summer. Can you move forward for me, please, Christian?
Absolutely.
So the purpose of this slide really is to go ahead and highlight the diversity in terms of ethnicity, age, and also student goals that we have at Central Piedmont Community College. So even though we have, I'd say half of our students are students who are taking courses with an associate's degree specifically to transfer to a four-year school, we still have a broad range of students who are here to go ahead and increase their skill set or to go ahead and get a job after 2 years. So the question is, how do you provide opportunities for global engagement to such a diverse population of students? Next, please, Christian. So we can go ahead and do this pre-COVID and post-COVID virtual exchanges. Pre-COVID, we did traditional language to language, Spanish classes in Peru, Spanish classes in the US. Post-COVID, what we found was there was an increase, obviously, because we weren't able to physically travel, there's an increase in the need for virtual exchanges. What we found are the partners that were able to transition quickly are the ones that really benefited from the programs. I'm going to go ahead and highlight, I guess there are two particular partners that we work with, Study Abroad Association obviously being one in terms of asynchronous connections. And we also work closely with EDU Africa in terms of synchronous virtual exchanges. We do four virtual connections each semester with EDU Africa. And again, the challenge that we found is that our students with this wide range of diversity think, how do we go ahead and engage them? We were able to use some CARES Act money to be able to fund our GLE. So in terms of advocating for virtual, I had a lot of folks say, how can we afford the cost of these programs? We also had grant funding from the State Department in terms of a capacity building grant. Because we weren't able to travel physically, we were able to use some grant funding to assist with the virtual exchanges. Can you move to the next slide for me, please, Christian? Thank you. So in terms of engaging faculty, having taught at four-year private institutions, four-year public institutions, and now community colleges, I find that there are a couple of things that are similar regardless of where you are. One is that faculty don't have enough time of the day to do all the things that they like to do to be able to engage students. That's one similarity. The second is that you've got students that are underrepresented in study abroad, and those students tend to be the same regardless of institution. So we'll find that usually male students are underrepresented in study abroad. First generation students are underrepresented in study abroad, and ethnic minority groups are underrepresented in study abroad. We found that this virtual exchange gives us the ability to reach these underrepresented students in a much larger way than we would with virtual exchanges. And in terms of engaging faculty, what I found is that you've got to find the balance between the faculty that will make the time to create and innovate and the faculty who have the interest, but just really don't have the time. And what I find is that the 360 GLE allows us to go ahead and engage faculty across that broad spectrum. So example would be, we've got faculty in history and in business that use the 360 GLE as particular assignments in their courses to be able to reach students. We also have one particular faculty member in humanities professor who's created an entire course based upon the 360 GLE. And in doing so, he's been able to reach, we've offered this course, I think 2 sections of the course since inception. So we've been able to reach over 60 to 100 students every semester, and it's fully virtual, fully asynchronous, and the feedback that we're getting is pretty interesting as well. I would like to share my screen for a minute and just kind of give you guys an example of what he is doing in his course. So let's share. So this is a cultural, and if you guys give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen, good. This is a course that is called Cultural Studies. And Alan DiDonato, I'm going to scroll down for a second so that you can get an idea of the layout of his course. He uses a lot of videos, a lot of connectivity. But he gives students the options of either doing around the world. Let's click on this. So you have 2 options. You can do around the world in 8 weeks, or you can do a grand tour of Italy. So students get to select within the 8 weeks which tour they're going to participate in. In terms of the passport, he gives them information and they're linked directly to the 360 site to be able to go in, do the videos, and get access to what they need to learn before they even start their course. Let me click on the, let's see. Excuse me 1 second. Let's do the around the world in 8 weeks. So if you choose to do around the world in 8 weeks, it's laid out in 8 different forms. If you click on any one of these, let's go to Unit 3, it will link you directly to the 360 site. And every student has a login if they have the cpcc.edu email address. In terms of assessments, this instructor allows students to have to do scavenger hunts. They've got to do certain presentations. They all have to do an ethical self-awareness evaluation, and there are discussion boards as part of each single one of these modules. He also, at the end, has students do an overall presentation and provide feedback on the platform. And more importantly, they give us feedback that we can then provide to Study Abroad Association in terms of usefulness of the platform. Are there countries that possibly we want to be able to utilize that we haven't been able to utilize in the past? I'm going to stop sharing. Can you go back to the presentation for me, Christian? Thank you. And wanted to mention that in conjunction with some faculty at NC State University, we were also able to survey our students who are utilizing the 360 platform and students who are engaged in virtual exchanges. So what we've done is we've compared a class of humanities students that have access to the platform and a class of humanities students that don't have access to the platform. And the whole purpose is to try to figure out whether or not we really are making an impact by using virtual exchanges as opposed to students who have no experience or exposure at all to virtual. So we're still in terms of gathering information, and we'll keep you guys posted in terms of the results of the data. Next slide, please, Christian. There are lots of other things that we can be doing. Thank you. There's so much more that we can be doing with the 360 platform. In terms of virtual reality, we just got, again, some funding from the government to be able to actually purchase the VR headsets. So the plan is that we will be using the VR headsets in certain classes to allow students, again, to have access to this platform. We also think that we can go ahead and use this in terms of continuing education courses that are untapped for community members who don't have the ability to physically travel, but can do it with us virtually. I'm not sure how many of you have, we have our ACA classes would be the equivalent to like a freshman seminar for most four-year schools. We're determined that we're going to use this platform as well, beginning in the fall semester with all of our ACA classes to make sure that students in their first semester at the college have some exposure to virtual connections in hopes that when we can start traveling again, we will create this pipeline of students who have the interest and the desire to be able to travel. So I will go ahead and end it there and pass it on to the next presenter. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nadine. That was brilliant. And you guys have done an incredible job at CPCC since the beginning, and we appreciate your support and willingness to experiment with new technology. Way to go, guys. Let me go ahead and move to the next slide. All right, I'd like to welcome Moraine Park.
Thank you, Christian. I am Ann Lemke, and I am the Student Community Impact Coordinator here at Moraine Park Technical College in Wisconsin. There are 16 technical colleges here, and we are all in districts. So Moraine Park takes care of Fond du Lac and Washington and Dodge and Green Lake County in Wisconsin. And I am here with one of our social science instructors, Ailanda Oliva, and we want to share today how we partnered with the Study Abroad Association to bring the GLE 360 to our faculty and students. Next slide, Christian. So 4 years ago, we revamped our old Study Abroad program in partnership with the Study Abroad Association to create a model that could be more inclusive and accessible to students in any degree program across the college. We have about 10,000 students here. About 78% of them are part-time. The median age is 31, so similar to what Nadine was describing. A lot of students don't have access to be able to go and study abroad. So we chose to have domestic travel locations for a short trip every fall semester, and then international travel locations during our spring break each spring semester. We just got it all marketed and posted and got faculty and students excited, and then came COVID. So then we had to pivot and go to a virtual experience, and thank goodness we had Study Abroad Association to partner with, who gave us a great opportunity. Next slide. So we just wanted to tell you that this is a screenshot of our faculty portal. We have an online portal that students can log into and also faculty can log into. And this is how we give our faculty the directions of the basics of the 360 GLE. We have a link for them to sign up. We have a link for them to log in. We have the tutorial they can use. We also spent a lot of time this past school year going to meetings. Yolanda and I, we met with the deans, all the academic deans. The academic deans then shared the information with their associate deans, who then invited us to come to their team meetings. So we went to the healthcare team meeting and the manufacturing team meeting and the general education team meeting and the human services team meetings. And we showed them little examples of the 360 GLE and how they might be able to integrate it into their course and use it as an opportunity for their students. We also bought some virtual reality goggles that students could try out and faculty could try out and use. And it worked out really, really well. We have it integrated with our Canvas learning management system, so they can easily get signed up and put it right into their course. Next slide. I just also wanted to let you know that there are many other colleges across the Wisconsin Technical College system that are also partnered with the Study Abroad Association and using the 360 GLE. That's actually how we found out about it, was through our sister colleges, and had really good feedback from the other colleges who are partnered with the Study Abroad Association. This slide also has a link to the Wisconsin Technical College System Study Abroad group, who are all the colleges in the state coming together to discuss 4 times per school year about what we're all doing and learn and share from each other, which has been really, really valuable for all of us. Next slide. This is just a screenshot of the directions that we give to our students, staff, and faculty about how to sign up, how to log in. It takes them to the links faculty can put this right into their Canvas. We are only using one of the modules. We are using the Global Perspectives module that is part of the GLE 360. And we also printed this out on some little postcards with the actual addresses on it. So when we have an in-person session, we can pass out a little postcard with the links on that they can take home with them and give it a try. Next slide. And now we're going to talk to Yolanda.
All right, thank you, Anne. Thank you, everyone. Hello. So as mentioned before, I teach for Moraine Park Technical College. I've been teaching for 16 years now, and I mostly teach psychology courses, intro to diversity studies, and ethics courses. So I've partnered with Anne and what we call at the college the Cultural Connections Program. And there were some various ways that we incorporated sharing this information with faculty and students and staff and administration. So I'd like to take an opportunity to share with you now, because as Nadine had mentioned before, you know, I can attest to being a faculty member who really loves to see new programming and really loves to see new things being incorporated to courses. And it's really exciting, but then oftentimes it can be difficult to change something that we've always worked with regularly or provide additions. And so at the time it sounds very exciting, and you will get faculty members that have all of the best intentions, but then just seem to falter away from adding information into their courses, especially pre-existing courses. So some strategies that we used at Moraine Park these last couple of years include getting administration on board, faculty involved, as well as students, so multi-layers of individuals at the college. One of the things that we did during our spring break this last year was something called Escape Wisconsin. And we offered students, faculty, staff, and administration to come on a virtual spring break with us for those individuals who are not going on spring break. We did offer it during school hours. And so a 1-hour session, we promoted this by sending information onto our portal, as well as sending information to faculty to share with their students as well. And so for this opportunity, we escaped Wisconsin by traveling to Costa Rica. At the event itself, we offered fair trade chocolates and fair trade coffee as little treats for our participants. And we thought it would work nicely with the Costa Rica option of exploring the production of cacao as well as coffee farms. So looking at the ways that cacao is produced then into chocolate, as well as coffee production and harvesting. We toured those aspects of Costa Rica, and then we ended our tour with beautiful scenery from the Rio Celeste waterfall. And listen to some cultural myths about the waterfall. As Anne had mentioned, we do provide virtual reality goggles for students and for anybody who attends these programs. And they can use them if they'd like. For our students, they're free for students who take my course. And all they have to do is either pick them up on campus, or we can mail them to their home. The reason why we incorporated fair trade coffee and chocolate is because Moraine Park is one of the only fair trade technical colleges. And so we thought that was kind of a neat addition, as well as just how well it corresponded with that virtual learning program from Costa Rica. Another another strategy that we engaged in was we invited ourselves pretty much to academic program meetings. And when we went to these academic program meetings, we would provide a demonstration of the 360 GLE program. And what was neat about the program specific meetings was that prior to going into the program meeting, we could research, okay, what are some areas that might interest this particular program? For example, the business program, we researched and went into London for their demonstration, just because it was more business oriented, talked about the economy there as well. Another example for the electricity and trades team meeting program, we went to Germany, which is the green nation, and we explored and demoed for that group the different wind powered electricity options that they use there, as well as solar buildings. One thing that's really neat about this program is that there's so many different types of program specific virtual tours. And all I really needed to do was enter a keyword in either the index or in the library. And I would then see a generation of many different program contents that we could offer for those meetings. So pretty simple to use for specific area content. Then another thing that we did is we also went to our dean, the general education dean, and she's mostly in charge of general studies. And we showed her the program. We asked her if she could share the program with other deans at the dean meetings. And she actually provided a demonstration for the other deans, the program deans at the meeting, and then asked the program deans to share the information with faculty members and how easy it can be incorporated into the courses. And then finally, this is not on the slide, but we also presented at our curriculum team, or with our curriculum team. And we asked our curriculum team, we showed them a demonstration. We really focused on how the program itself reaches one of our life skills competencies at the college, which is called awareness. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. But we asked them to keep in mind this virtual program and how this virtual program can meet the skill set of accomplishing those life skills, having openness to awareness, or being aware, excuse me. And we also asked them to share with faculty when they are changing their course content or when they are creating new course content, to possibly add this in as a component. Next slide, please. So when we met with faculty and administrators, we really wanted to focus on why this is so important. And we wanted to stress to faculty and administrators why the Immersive program is so important and how it's so easy to use and to incorporate into courses. So at each of our meetings or our demonstrations, we also highlighted the value of this content for all of our faculty audiences. And clearly, as mentioned before, clearly the impact of COVID has definitely changed the way that we travel and how we experience global communities. Incorporating virtual learning into course curriculum provides a really easy access point for internationalizing your course curriculum as a faculty member. Our goal generally is to build globally competent students and faculty while allowing for accessibility for all. Accessibility for individuals whose demographics may not allow them financially to travel, or whose physical ailments or they may not be physically capable of traveling and going about the traditional study abroad opportunities. And so we really want to offer accessibility to everybody. And this is a great way to do it, especially during the time of COVID, where absolutely nobody could travel. So considering our colleges are located in very rural environments, our students particularly would benefit from the virtual learning opportunities because they may not be able to experience other types of cultures, or they may not be able to experience other types of foreign countries. And most of our students are all from very small, non-diverse communities. Additionally, many of our students may never, like I said before, may never travel to a foreign country, possibly because of financial concerns or possibly because of outside responsibilities such as work and family responsibilities. So we thought that this is a really great way to widen their global perspective when traditional travel is not allowed for them. Additionally, one of the idea of an inclusive way to offer travel really supports one of our college values, and it supports our college mission. And one of those values is diversity, offering students a sense of belonging. Another value that is conducive with this program and with our college is what we call impactful learning. We really value offering different ways of learning. We want students to experience creative, immersive, and experiential learning inside and outside of the classroom. Really looking at innovative learning opportunities is what this program provides for our students. This last bullet point regarding the career and life skills at Moraine Park, these are competencies that the college has recently adapted. We used to operate under core abilities. Now they have been revamped to the career and life skills at Moraine Park. And so there are 4 total career and life skills that we offer at the college and that we assess at the college within each program and all of our courses. They include reasoning, communication, professionalism, and awareness. Awareness is that last life skill competency that really is embedded by using this virtual learning program. Next slide, please. Thank you. So this awareness, the awareness life skill competency, we acknowledge that it's really important for students to have ample opportunities to acknowledge their own personal biases and prejudices. With using the 360 GLE program, students are able to explore their own personal beliefs and their own personal attitudes and compare that to worldviews. We also think that virtual learning allows students to really learn and appreciate other cultural perspectives and appreciate other cultural differences as well. Hopefully, the goal is that they are doing this with a newfound appreciation and respect for varying views and traditions. And then last, the local and global awareness that we look at as a college. This is probably one of the most important types of subcategories within this larger category. And the most important benefits is that the virtual learning really provides the opportunity to pique the students' interest in different cultural and traditional and ethnic and global events that they possibly in the past may have had no idea even existed. So many of our students really are not knowing as far as the certain global views and cultural lands and the rich heritage that other countries can provide to us. All right, yep, next slide. Thanks, Christian, you were on it. So course integration. So now I'd like to just provide some examples to you on how I personally use the the virtual learning program in my course. There's one course in particular, the Intro to Diversity Studies course that I use. And in this course, we explore different aspects of world religions. We explore cultural and ethnic groups. And we also look at different immigration patterns and subordinate groups, mostly in the United States, but we also look at one of our larger learning outcomes within the course, which is exploring global awareness. And so 7 out of the 9 measurable learning outcomes within this Intro to Diversity Studies course are met by using the virtual learning program. So basically, students are given a series of virtual tours to engage in and watch the associated videos. And then they're asked to complete assessments that include integration of not only the virtual learning program, but also the textbook readings and the course, the learning plan readings as well. They're also asked to provide some reflective insights into their basic thoughts on what they thought, what they now know that they didn't know prior to experiencing the virtual learning program. And then last, we have another instructor at Moraine Park that is using the program for a very open-ended type of assessment in her interpersonal and oral communications course. Next slide, please. We thought it would be a good idea to just provide some examples of assessments that are used. I have 5 total assessments that I use in the Intro to Diversity Studies course. This is an example of one of them. This is wrapped around the learning plan module that focuses on adaptation and immigration, as well as sustainability. And so students every time they are asked to complete one of these assessments, you'll notice that the very first thing that I have is a link to the user guide. The user guide is very easy for them to access. They should have at this point already been signed up for the program, but this will allow them to sign up for the program as well. In all of the assessment instructions, I include the user guide because if a student gets stuck on how to navigate through the program, they can easily access it there rather than having to go outside of the actual assignment and try to locate that content. So for this example, students are asked to write a 1-page minimum response to the following discussion questions. So after viewing the destinations and the required scenes, they're posed a few questions that they're asked to write a report on. Next slide, please. This next assessment is a little bit more in depth, and the reason why I say that is because it's a little bit longer. They're asked to, again, view the destinations and the required scenes, as well as taking and integrating the articles that we used in our learning plan, in our course learning plan, and comparing what that article says about agriculture to what they just learned about agriculture in Costa Rica. So this provides a valuable comparison where students are able to really be immersed in that virtual learning experience and then go back and read about what's happening in the United States and provide a direct comparison of how cultural workers and farmers are treated and what the difference is in looking at those different countries. Next slide, please. I have incorporated one main scoring rubric, and so this is pretty easy. You can just use the same scoring rubric for all of the assessments that you provide or assignments that you provide. in your course. And at least then students have an idea of, we're looking for your insight in the virtual learning, as well as associating it with the course materials. Also looking for creative thinking. What was your insight? And also your personal reaction. And then of course, communicating with professionalism. And next slide. And then I'd just like to take some time to share with you a very open-ended exploratory presentation that one of our colleagues uses for her oral interpersonal communications course. Basically, she has students, this is a short course, it's only 8 weeks long. So she has students choose a country of their liking and work in groups to go through the virtual learning tours, view all of the videos, read any associated content, and then she asks students, what did you find? She asks them to create a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation on their findings and their insight. In particular, she would like them to look at communication patterns because it is a communications course. And then also students are asked to identify some culture and traditions that they picked up on in watching these virtual learning videos and tours. So very easy, it can easily be incorporated into a course as an open-ended assignment like this.
Thank you so much, Yolanda. You guys have done an incredible job. So we just want to share a few other success stories and then move quickly so that we have plenty of time for open discussion and Q&A. Currently, we have over 75 institutions who are using 360 GLE. This went live on January 1st, 2021. Everybody's doing unique, diverse things. What we try to do is to share as much of these success stories with you, so that way your faculty can be inspired. It can also be a blueprint. They can adopt what's already been done, or they can create something new. You have access to our development team nonstop to sit down, understand your goals, and come up with solutions, as well as get you to content quicker. NJCU, North New Jersey City University, they're using it in their honors program. University of South Florida was the first institution, the first university to create an entire course to replicate a study abroad program that had been canceled. They did Italy from north to south, focused on human impact on the environment and climate change. It was brilliant. South Piedmont Community College, they have a series of 8-week program where they visit different destinations throughout each week. Kansai University in Japan, so even international, they're using it for the English courses and their global focus courses. Broward College used all the Italy content for Italy language and culture courses, and hybrid programs. Hybrid programs are very exciting. That's where you take the 360 units and you pair it with an actual physical travel experience. This is very, very exciting because it's proven as a very successful tool to increase enrollment in the physical study abroad program, but also provide students who cannot go on the physical study abroad trip the opportunity of still taking the course. So hybrid programs, in our opinion, is a representation of what we can expect in the future for international education. Go ahead here, and should be able to. So just to recap a little bit, this is not a Band-Aid for COVID. This is something that's going to be here with us for a very, very, very long time. It's something we've been in need of for a very long time. This is not a replacement for traditional study abroad. This is an enhancement, something that goes with it. It's an opportunity for us to be able to reach more students and build a global foundation at the institution and then build upon that foundation. So really the word is accessibility for everyone. That's the view behind this. I'd love to open it up now for questions, open discussion. I'm sure our panelists would love to answer those directly. Anything that you want to drop in the chat, drop in there. We will answer. If we don't have time to answer everything, we will follow up with you and send you a thorough recap on everything. And we will be sharing this recording with everyone. Please feel free to unmute yourselves. I think everyone has that. Or we'll drop it in the chat and read it out. I did want to also share with everyone here, while we're waiting for questions to come in, anybody that would like to have access to the platform to explore, we are happy to give you full access. You can share that with your faculty as well. You can have access for as long as you need, and we'd be happy to also provide you a demo, an in-depth demo of everything. So feel free to drop questions in here, and I'm going to navigate through the chat and see if there were any that we missed. Okay, Gloria, we will definitely send you access. And we have a question here from, okay, Nadine, thank you. You answered Laura's question. Okay, let's go back through. And if we didn't mention clearly enough earlier, this is accessible on all web-enabled devices. This was not designed for virtual reality goggles. You can enjoy virtual reality with 360 videos, but this was designed to be able to provide a global education from the palm of your hand, something that most students have, a smartphone. So really, we wanted to make it as interactive and accessible from these devices: smartphone, tablet, laptop, desktop, smart boards in the classroom, et cetera, et cetera. If there are any questions that we haven't answered yet, please drop them back in the chat, because I might not get to it in time while I'm looking through. Yes, of course, Paula, we'd be delighted to give you access for as long as you need. And one exciting component when we talk about hybrid as well, this is a combination between asynchronous and synchronous. A lot of these guest speakers that you meet in these 360 units are also present during our International Education Week celebrations, during our Global Learning Fest celebrations in the spring. And so they do live streaming walking tours from those locations, workshops from those locations, and they're all available to do private sessions directly with your students. So you can really combine that in exciting ways, from asynchronous to synchronous live streaming to finally physical travel on ground. Yes, Tamara, absolutely. Is there any, yes, that's correct. It's based on full-time enrollment, and we have different tiers. The lowest tier option for the platinum subscription, which is unlimited access, unlimited users for all of the areas of study, including the new destinations that are coming out, that's $4,995. That's for unlimited access, unlimited users. If you're part of a consortium as well, there's discounts. If you're community college, there's discounts. There's also singular modules where you might say, we only want to start with business, or we only want to start with humanities, and those start at $19.95. And again, that's unlimited access, unlimited users for 365 days, as well as you have pre-access for all your faculty to be able to explore and plan prior to your subscription being activated.
Christian,
And
the
it's
next
really fun
question.
to share with your family and friends at home, just
Yeah.
for fun.
Yeah, yes, Nadine?
There was a question from Heidi about how to get this out to faculty. And I would suggest, for us, what we've seen work is maybe do like a lunch and learn, where we have Christian go ahead and present to faculty and have someone who's actually utilized the platform show you and walk you through how to utilize it in their classes. We've also done seminars with our Center for Teaching and Learning Excellence that are going to be focused on, again, specific faculty. Could be faculty in humanities or faculty in mathematics, et cetera. But I think hands-on is what's really important to get faculty excited about the platform and to see how easy it is to use the platform.
Absolutely. And we do these sessions. I mean, we love doing these sessions. So we do them multiple times a year for all the faculty. You can record the session. You can make it accessible on your site as well. So if they're not able to attend, you can. But a lot of times pre-semester, during those mandatory meetings, there'll be a slot there. Any kind of a faculty development professional workshops that need, these can satisfy those requirements. So we can give you lots and lots of suggestions on best practices and how institutions have really achieved engagement across all of the departments.
I also think that one of the main important factors is to get at least one faculty member who's familiar with the program, has used the program, and is able to attest to the program to share with other faculty members. And then from there, you can filter down to getting buy-in from faculty and your dean and other administrators in the program itself. This could also be used for like student life. I noticed that there was a question about, has it been used in other areas, not just courses or academics? Student life activities could use this. Let's go on a virtual tour event, or let's explore a different country together, or let's see what we would expect on certain areas if we were to travel in a particular country. So, and like Christian had said, we use this as an explore or leave spring break or leave Wisconsin and explore a tropical area as well. So it doesn't always have to be tied to academics.
A lot of institutions are also using it during study abroad fairs. So when a lot of students are coming through to explore all of the faculty-led programs that are going to, or semester exchange programs that are available at the institution, they also have this as an exciting experience for the students to come, you know, discover it, and then from there go to the global ed office and find out what's also possible. So there's many, many exciting ways, and yeah, we're happy to brainstorm with you. I think what you did at Moraine Park was a very innovative and great idea of pairing it with you know, traditional food from the country that you were exploring virtually. I think that's great because now you're really incorporating all of the senses, you know, so that's exciting. For any other questions, friends, we have a few more minutes and we're happy to answer any of those. By the way, thank you, Philip, for reminding me. We have currently had, as of today, asked Philip to run a report earlier, we've had over 4,900 student registrants on 360 GLE in the past year and a half, which is very, very exciting. So just to give you an idea of how with one click of a button, you can make this resource accessible to your entire student body and your faculty and your staff. So it's really great. And lastly, I just want to thank our panelists today. Nadine, thank you so much for joining us. It's always great seeing you. And absolutely, we appreciate your support and look forward to traveling with you in person as well soon. And Anne, I want to thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And Yolanda, thank you so much as well. You're doing a great job.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. All right, everybody. We will go ahead and wrap it up early. And if you need access, I'll put my email in here now. If you need access, if you need, if you have questions, if you need to find the right solution for your institution, let us know. And we're happy to share all of that with you. Lastly, you can see everybody's emails here if you want to reach out to anybody directly and ask any questions as well.
You just missed a question just now from Heidi, just before you close if you want, talking about the new planned locations, if you want to share some updates and news. Yes, thank you so much, Heidi. So we have 3 new destinations coming out that are about to roll out. We just completed Colombia. Colombia is a bilingual it's our first bilingual program. So it's featured both in Spanish and in English. Very exciting program. Indigenous cultures, Afro-Caribbean culture, UN Sustainable Development Goals, tons of tradition, tons of culture, shot in Spanish and in English. So for language faculty, that's great. We have Japan. Japan's coming out in collaboration with Kansai University. So that will be in production in July. And then we have Ghana. Ghana, Africa will be coming out as well. So like I mentioned earlier, every year, new global destinations, new regions, and multidisciplinary content within each of those regions. So yes, those are new ones. Thank you, Heidi, so much for asking that. Okay, everybody. I wish you a lovely day and have a great weekend, everyone. All the best. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you.